more is more.
Yeah.
And it's like, you go like, well, there's a fundamental misunderstanding. Because I use the exact same principle when it comes to headshots. And again, something, if you're an avid listener of this podcast, I've talked about this many times, but basically, so my philosophy when it comes to headshots, for example, no matter whether it's actors headshots or corporate headshots, for example, is really that I don't do 20-minute headshot sessions. And the reason why I don't do that is because the end result is not what's important here. It's just like you say, it's the experience, and in 20 minutes, my client is not going to have the same experience that they would have in an hour or even in 2 hours, because I do unlimited sessions. So I don't really care however much time they give me. We produce some really awesome imagery. We can go through loads of different things and whatever. But the reason why I don't charge 60 quid for a headshot is because, to me, the experience, and my clients agree with that, obviously, is that the experience of creating that final image, not only is the final image going to be a lot better, that's one thing, but it's the experience that's where the value is, having that experience. Because without fail, every single person that comes through my door will utter the same few words on the way through the door. Now, well, I don't want to be here, or I've never liked having my phone.
I look terrible in photos. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. They always say the same thing.
Always.
And if I can give them the experience that by the time they leave, they go, I had a really good time. I really enjoyed it. Now that's the magic, and that's
you are going to sell. You're going to sell images. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's where the value is. And that, to me as a photographer, is much more satisfying than just going, right, 20 minutes, time's up, next, here you go,
yeah,
whatever shit we've just shot.
I took 200 images though, so,
Exactly, yeah. I mean, imagine in 20 minutes, you can shoot hundreds of images. It's not about the volume of the images.
Yeah.
And I don't deliver. So this is the other thing I don't do, as compared to many other headshot photographers. I do not deliver. I won't do digital gallery, online galleries, and I won't deliver lots of shots. I'll deliver a very select few of retouched images, and that is it. So there's no such thing as like, oh, we're going to look through lots of the straight out of camera files and decide in a week from now which one we want. It's like, no, we're going to sit down at the end of the session. We're going to go through them. We're going to find the hero shot, the one that you love the most, of every setup that we've done, and then those are the ones that I'm going to retouch, and that's it. And so what you're going to end up with is however many images you choose, 1, 2, 3, 5, whatever. But these are the images that are the cream of the crop. Those are the ones that will remind you of the experience that you had when you did that session with me. And to me, that's important. To other people, they might think, well, it's a giant waste of time, because you could have 4 clients in at the same time. Fine. If that's the volume game you want to play.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Totally. And of course, I have these calls, people go, look, I just need one headshot, there's a guy who does it for like 80 quid. I'm like, yeah, fine. I mean, totally cool. I actually know a guy who does it for 60 quid. I'll give you his number. Like, absolutely no problem. Yeah. Why? I wouldn't want to do that. There's no point in me doing that, because I just don't want to do it. I do, however, caveat that by saying that, the photographer with the biggest house on Malibu Beach is going to be the guy who has his photo booths in every superstore and supermarket around town.
True,
So that's the thing.
Yeah.
Jake, if you had to give a new photographer, or somebody who wants to get into creative studio lighting, if you had to give them one tip, what would it be?
I think you got to shoot way more than you think you got to shoot. I think that the old adage of 1,000 travel books isn't worth one actual trip is very true. And I think that in an age where we have kind of almost infinite access to education and skills and TikToks and all that crap, I think that it's really about you getting in the studio, or setting up a studio at home, setting up a studio in your bedroom, or whatever it is, and don't let space hold you back, because you can do a huge amount in a small amount of space. And in fact, those restrictions will actually make you a better photographer in the long run. But I think you just got to be shooting way more than you think. It's not just good enough to be watching 10 YouTube videos a week. It's just not it. It's just not going to hold water. Um, you need to be start building up your visual language. You need to start getting used to your equipment. All these sorts of things. That camera needs to be an extension of your arm, really, and you need to be in a mindset where you're like getting used to your kit, your lights in your space, your camera. And I think that that is, I'm very fortunate. I worked in a very busy studio for many, many, many years. I did my 10,000 hours, and there is no substitute for that. I don't care how many YouTube videos you think you need to watch. There is no substitute for that. You just got to shoot, 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 and then you just got to shoot some more.
So what's coming up for you? What's next for you?
Without blowing my own trumpet, I do have an exhibition in Paris next week that I'm going out to see. So that'll be good. So something that was kind of wild that happens, kind of getting that signed off and okayed last year, but finally it's happening. So yeah, I'll be going out to Paris next Tuesday. Go out there. It's going to be like a bunch of my images are going to be exhibited on the side of a building in Paris, which is kind of wild. So I'll go out and do that. Which is nuts. So yeah, that's certainly something that I never thought would happen. Like art is art, and I'm not somebody that does it for the likes. But I mean, that's certainly having your images up in lights literally is food for the soul for sure. So that'd be cool. Other than that, though, yeah, I got a shoot on Sunday, and then a couple of bits next month. It should be an interesting shoot next month. A lot of color and very interesting old London bar type strip club thing. So that should be cool. And then yeah, so I mean, I kind of mentioned it, and forgive the blatant plug here, but I do a lot of online education with a bunch of people. So a lot of mentoring and online education with people all over the world, and I have done for many years. It kind of started during COVID, and then people just kept asking for it after COVID, so I kind of carried it on. So I do a lot of online workshops and training, and that all of that is one-to-one, right? So it's kind of targeted to your skill set, your skill level, and your equipment. Like you're shooting strobes, you're shooting speed lights, you're shooting LEDs, so all of it is kind of targeted to your needs as well. So that's kind of keeping me busy, and I love doing that. It's fascinating. We live in this amazing age where we can kind of talk to anybody, from and I mean, yeah, I've done these sessions with people from all over the world, and it's kind of fascinating to see the business of the photographic businesses that they have, and like the kind of struggles that they're going through in their region, and that sort of thing. I find that whole thing fascinating, right? Because we're all on our own journey, like we're all making our own way with it. Like I said, photographers are lone wolves. We do have to kind of make our own kind of way through this. I know years ago people used to say, "Oh, I'm self-taught," but like we're all self-taught. Like you're all self-taught. So it is a fascinating part of the job that I have now is kind of engaging with those people and seeing how they're dealing with the problems that they're dealing with, in their studios and businesses. Yeah, it's been good, man. It's been cool. Yeah.
And of course, if people want to find out about that, all they have to do is go to your website, the link of which is going to be in the description of this episode. So no matter whether you're listening on audio or you're joining us on YouTube, check out all the links to Jake's socials and website in the description
It's pretty
below.
much, yeah. Google Jake Hicks Photography and it'll come up. But yeah, jakehicksphotography.com is the website. And then, yeah, if you're interested in kind of getting, feedback and community wise, we do have a great, very colorful community on my Facebook page. I know it seems old school, but Facebook just still seems to be one of the best ways to actually kind of communicate with people rather than just the emojis of Instagram.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's the same thing. Like with the Camera Shake Facebook community, it's a similar
Oh,
thing. It's
cool.
just an easy way to do it.
It is, yeah.
Cool, Jake. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show again. Let's not make it 2 more years.
I know. I apologize for all the rants that I went through. I promised myself, like, don't rant, Jake. Don't get into nerdy rants. And yeah, it happened. So I apologize. But yeah, hopefully there was a nugget in there that you can use.
No apologies needed. That's really where where the fun is in this podcast. Of course, it's the never ending ranting. I know I'm known for that. Anyway, Jake, thank you so much. All right, folks, that's a wrap for today's episode. It was awesome having Jake on the show again. But before we go, let me just recommend another episode that I think you'll like. Check out episode 215 with Gavin Hoey. I'm sure you love it. If you enjoy the content, then consider supporting us on buymeacoffee.com/camerashake to help us keep bringing you amazing episodes. I have no idea why I keep saying us, because it's really just me. It really means the world to me. And for those of you listening on audio, did you know that there's a fully fleshed out video version of this podcast over on YouTube? Well, you should by now, because I keep mentioning it all the time. You get to see all of our guests' stunning photography in full Technicolor. So just head over to YouTube, search for Camera Shake Podcast, and you can watch all of our past episodes there. And if you're already on there, well, be sure to drop us a comment, hit the like button, ring the bell, and share with your friends. Your engagement helps us reach more people across the globe. So thanks again for listening and watching. And remember, a new episode drops every Thursday, so make sure you mark that in your calendars, diaries, whatever your kids use these days. Until next time, keep shaking things up in the world of photography. See you next Thursday. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed that clip, then press here for the full episode in glorious Technicolor. Hey, and don't forget to subscribe.